What's popular, YouTube? Another day, another demo, and today we are down to the top 2 in the last 2 videos of 2022 on this channel. And there won't be another video for a couple weeks after that, at least. We're gonna go real slow into January. I'm going on vacation, going to Hawaii, okay? I am going to come back, go to blast groups, might upload there a little bit, but for the most part, January is relatively off. All the juice is being left on the table in this year right now, okay, for this list, as we do every year. So if you're just joining us for the first time, I just wanted to let you know, no, there will not be an upload every single day for the next year. Though maybe in the future we do something like that, I don't know. But for now, me, Mo, Davey, we're going to take some time off. We did a lot. So thank you again to those guys for helping out with this. But here it is, the real meat and potatoes, as they like to say, the core of the list, the pinnacle, the epitome of individual level in Counter-Strike, the absolute most unbelievable players here, the top 2, okay? In this list have only been the elite of the elite, okay? There has only been, in history, Get Right, Olafmeister, Coldzera, Simple, and Zywoo to be top 1 in the world 2 years in a row. Here in 2022, there is the chance that either Simple or Zywoo will be number 1 3 years. The only time in history that has happened, and it would be at our most competitive juncture ever, okay? We don't know. And you don't know who this video is about. And I did just make a paper plane as I recorded Shiro. It's the same day. And I don't remember if I just in the last 3 seconds spoiled who's going to be number 2. Okay, so let me just start by doing some hints. The player who is number 2 this year on Laos Top 20 of 2022. And you know what? Who I think will be HLTVs as well. Maybe that's a hint. This player is a guy who, you know, he's really good at Counter-Strike. He ops. He has been number 1 2 years in Counter-Strike. I think about 40% of you think that this player will be number 1. I don't know if I'm right about that. He's representing a very strong region in Counter-Strike history. He's the best player of that region in history. Some say that he is Gabe's long-lost son. Some think that he maybe have been born in a test tube. The player who I'm talking about had his worst team, like, ever this year, okay? Mr. No Help himself, it's Zywoo.
What popular on YouTube, another day, another demo.
And I'd like to introduce him like that, okay? He's number 2 on this list. A fantastic accomplishment, an unreal year from Zywoo. UFO stats, extraterrestrial stats, out of the stratosphere stats. The things that he did this year, okay? He cleared everything. This is a guy who has averaged top 2 since 2019. His rookie year was 2019. He was first. You have to understand that that has never happened before and will probably never happen. I talked about m0NESY this year as a generational talent. He's going to be in the top 15 range. We talk about Bit as his best rookie year, winning a major. He's in that top 10 range. Zywoo got top 1 in 2019, and that was without a major winning team. Now, some would say, oh, but he didn't win a major with that year. Well, I think it's even more impressive that he got the stats to get number 1 without that major. And in 2022, this boy has no help. Apex isn't helping him. Dupree isn't helping him. Spinks abandoned him. And Magisk is doing okay. This guy, I don't know what to say, you know? Zywoo, after ESL Pro League Season 16, which is the demo that we're going to watch, Spinks just dipped out. He didn't have a single green event for the rest of the year. There was actually a chance with Spinks, superstar from Ents, to come on to Vitality to help ZywOo, there was a chance that ZywOo could be #1 player this year. Seriously. I'm not sorry. I don't mean to put that all on Spinks, but where did he go? What happened with Vitality? And when I talk about Shiro, I talk about a player who has Axel right on his ass, holding his pocket as he walks into #3, okay? And Axel, the best rifler of the whole year. ZywOo, he doesn't have a single other teammate in the top 20. Maybe Spinks will be there on HLTV's list. I don't know. I'm the one who called Spinks a generational talent, and I don't even have him in my top 20. Maybe there's some egg on my face for that, but honestly, this guy had about 3 months on Vitality and a really good run with Ents. But 5 events where he should have only gotten better, where he completely disappeared, and the team behind ZywOo is nothing. We wouldn't even be talking about Vitality would be like 15 plus without ZywOo. That's how bad they are. I hate to be that blunt. This is simple in 2018, ZywOo in 2022. And that, again, only speaks to how good ZywOo actually is. When we talk about versatility, when we talk about players who can take over the game, when we talk about players who actually do more than they appear, when we talk about players who have bad results, but it's not their fault, when we talk about any kind of storyline that has to do with simple 3-4 years ago applies directly to ZywOo today, and somebody needs to tell everybody that. Don't ask nobody, just ask me. ZywOo doesn't get this kind of attention because he doesn't do as much English interviews and content and stuff like that. But the career he's had so far is nothing short of miraculous. It may never be touched. I predict they will never have a player that can be average top 2 in their first, sounds like an easy bet, right? In their first 4 years as players and be #1 in their first year. I believe that will never happen again. I believe that will never happen again. Why does that sound so like obviously that's never going to happen again, right? We're going to watch the game now. This is the angle for the match. We're going to watch the game at Pro League. They won. They got first place, the best result for Vitality this year. ZywOo versus Liquid went 50. He went 51 and 32 with a 1.53 rating on Mirage. His next best teammate had a 0.94 rating. And guess what? They did lose the map. Let's watch the first half as they absolutely cleaned up on CT side. Okay. Yeah, he was also the top fragger on T side. It wasn't like he slowed down. Somehow, ZywOo is underrated. He's actually not getting enough credit. One of the best pistol players this year. Yep, a player elite in almost every category. Kind of beat Shiro out in all the kind of important... Okay, man. Beat Shiro out in some of the most important stats. I just picked up his res was this. I don't know if he's actually playing on native or he switched or not. But you know what? We watched Yakinder bring his monitor all the way to the touching his nose, and I think maybe you should be playing on stretched. You know, we look at Rop's monitor resting on his eyelashes, and you think maybe he should be on stretched. Actually, it's a real shame. But for now, we have Rop's on native. We have Yakinder on native. We had ZywOo on native, right, for a bit. Okay. Yeah, he plays Mirage like any other star player. He's the Opera, right? So that means if they do a B push, he's going to be the guy who gets run boosted up into B halls. If he plays in mid, he'll take an early peek. He's going to play off spawns most of the time. So right here, Apex is going to be the one most likely to boost him. Standing boost into the B site. See, they execute well. You get the deep angle. You get the sliver. You see one jump across. Very nice. You cannot be seen from this angle, and you get information. So it's really powerful spot to be in. Why wouldn't you take this if you have an op early round? You don't even have to play off of cat or whatever. You can play inside a ladder room, not watch anything, and chill. You're just so dominant. Even up here, opping versus cat. If you're able to hold all your grenades as well, forget about it. You're in such a beautiful spot. This is Liquid messed up big time here, by the way. You can't let the map be this strong. I'm going to guarantee you that Vitality win this round. Unless it's hilarious that they don't, because then it would just speak to how much ZywOo's been carrying their asses. Again, not a single player over a 1.0 rating, except for ZywOo with a 1.53 or whatever it was. The amount of information guaranteed here for ZywOo this deep into the B apps, that's what's key. So, oh, they are splitting B. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, they are splitting B. They got mid control. Somehow they got up cat. Where is the rest of this map? They didn't have any info on mid. How did this even happen that they allowed this to happen? I didn't even think a B split was possible based on how deep he was there. Anyways, we're not going for a boost. We've got two riflers coming out of mid. Back to A to defend. I'm skipping through. Ooh. Interesting. ZywOo doesn't even peek this. I feel like a Nitro wouldn't have been ready for that, but it's actually a late round read over to the B site. It's ZywOo, so he's probably right? No. Okay. Ooh. I think I remember this round. 1-on-3, ZywOo in a post-plant situation on the retake. Should be impossible. Okay, we get info. One player goes back. We know that they can be playing back triple. Off shot is missed from OC. Smoke comes up. ZywOo gets another kill. Easy. Swings out wide. You swing out as wide as possible right here. Why? Because it has to be respected. Nafly has to respect the fact that the bomb can get tapped. But if you're here on this line, Nafly can shoulder. Okay, so what Nafly is going to do, not knowing where ZywOo is, he's going to shoulder, he's going to shoulder, he's going to shoulder. And then he'll swing if he doesn't see anything. He'll swing and try to kill ZywOo on the bomb. If he's at 4 seconds, ZywOo just has to get out as far as possible to punish the shoulder peaks. A very standard play. Instantly dead. Look how far out he went. The reason this was so easy for ZywOo, Nafly had no idea he got spotted running out to the A ramp. So he played right into that. Beautiful round. Saved Vitality. Set this up in a beautiful way. You know, the thing that really perplexes me about Vitality is that when I see them playing at their best, they look like a great team. And even though I said that without ZywOo, this team would be 15 in the world plus, I also can't really understand why they can't play well as a team consistently. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe they never are actually that good, and ZywOo actually just bails them out over and over again. If you look at the stats on some of these games, you could actually make that argument. When I watch the games, a part of me believes they're actually a good team sometimes. And I don't know if I'm gaslighting my fucking self right now. I can't figure this out, and my whole MO is to make sure that ZywOo gets enough credit, because I think it's been an abject failure from Vitality behind him. Have a player who is top 2 this year to have only won one event, and outside of that have done nothing, really. Disappointing end to the year, especially. And I don't know, man. What is there good to say about what Vitality did this year? Incredibly competitive with, you know, outsiders winning the Rio Major in the first half of the year. Of course, having FaZe win Antwerp, having Heroic win the Blastfall Finals, having Cloud9 win Dallas, having, was it Navi win Cato? Or was it FaZe 1 Cato, FaZe 1 Cologne, FaZe 1 Antwerp, FaZe 1... Dude, FaZe won 4 tournaments this year, and yet there were so many other tier 1 tournament wins. A beautiful year from that perspective. Somehow we both got dominance and parity all at the same time. I love that personally. You guys know how much I love a team that is vying for an era, dominant at the top, because I think it makes everyone better. I think it shows us how competitive the skill ceiling is in the game. And I think we are honestly reaching the peak in terms of how good people can get at CSGO. And the only thing that can change that is maps. And we finally got Anubis in, so that'll throw things up in the air a little bit. I don't think enough to totally change what could be possible next year. I think if we had 2 maps different in the pool right now, then we might see a world where we see who the best IGLs are and the best teams because they adapt the fastest, and then they dominate, and then they get a tournament streak, and then we get an era. But right now we have to see if an era is still possible. And I personally want to live in a world where eras is still possible. I know like a lot of people love parody and underdog stories, and I do too. But I do prefer to have a dominant team and then everybody else be the underdogs. And because then I think you just... It speaks to how good the game is, I think, more than anything else. How deep the game is, right? But I mean, it's no... I don't want to discredit or even take away from the fact that we've had so many different tier 1 event winners this year. And also that, wow, it's amazing how good the top 20 has become and how much progress teams with players that are almost brand new have made in just a year. We think about people like Fame on Outsiders who are now major champions, who were just, you know, the 6,000 ELO player on European Face It a few months ago. Incredible stuff. So it speaks to how fast people can learn. Yakinder had another amazing year as a very, also, honestly, he's an inexperienced player compared to many others. Winning Flashpoint in 2020 or whenever it was that the 2020, and then 2021 was Mad Lions. But hopefully I got that right. Remember my Flashpoint history. Zaiwu as well, man. Zaiwu has barely played this game. His rookie year, he was #1. What is that? I mean, what is that? How did that guy kind of like go underreported? Like, it's just, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I mean, I think some people understand how great that is. I feel like it has to be yelled. If it's not yelled, I don't think it's been done justice. It's such an unreal accomplishment. And when we talk about French CS, they haven't been good since 2015. Since Happy, Shocks, Kenny S was top 6 in the world. LDLC, Envy, Titan, who were never actually that good. It's been 7 years. Boys, it's been 7 years since French CS has been anywhere. And today, the only reason we talk about French CS is Zaiwu. And ironically, Magisk. There's no excuse. Vitality seem like a great org. They seem like a great org with a lot of support, and they are willing to buy the players that Zaiwu needs. And I really think, or thought, that Apex was a great IGL, despite how emotional he was and everything. But honestly, I might have been getting misted, you know? Maybe it's not even real. Maybe Zaiwu doesn't have a team this whole time. Maybe when they look like geniuses off the calls, it's Zaiwu. I'm genuinely willing to believe that that's the case. I'm literally having a crisis in the middle of this top 2 demo, thinking about if Vitality are just completely fraudulent. It's just a crazy thing to think about. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it. You guys know how I feel about Apex. What? Did he just W strafe out the window? Yeah, he did. This spot is amazing, by the way. If they come underpass, it's a free kill. And then you can even jump back in the window, or you can jump out and go connector. If you have someone watching top mid, it's great as well. And you can also... Oh, he saw a foot. That's some info. We'll call that Zimfo. Zaiwu info. Wow, what a brave guy. I can't believe he actually... I can't believe he just peeked to throw that molly. Maybe Zaiwu is a little overrated. My biggest problem when it comes to Vitality's calling is that they look like the most stable team coming out of 2021 still. When I watched them play at the fall final, I thought, wow, this team is looking really optimized. But you know what? They're not standing out at all. When I watch Heroic play, they stand out. They stand out a ton. with their unique way of approaching CS. When I watch outsiders play at the Rio Major, they stood out. I can understand why it's them, why they're playing a little different, what they're looking for. A little bit less just plain optimized CS. I could speak to one thing and say, this is why they're so good. Oops. When I talk about how good Vitality were in 2021, it did have a lot to do with the optimizations that they made in terms of like their tactics, but it was like their CT reaggressions that I thought were the coolest. They're so fluid. It always felt like in their good games, their communication was very high, but they didn't have many good games. Like they won IEM Winter in 2021. They also were the only team to win outside of Na'Vi, but they kind of had a similar year to 2021 in that regard. Like Zaiwu was top 2. They won one event. He was the MVP. The field is much harder this year, so there's that. But you'd think for the team that was the second best coming out of 2021, they'd be able to improve. When it comes to Na'Vi, I mean, to be honest, like everybody's got excuses for why they don't do well and why they do, you know, can credit themselves for why they do well. Obviously we're seeing extenuating and exceptional circumstances for Na'Vi, for Simple this year, right? I'm just gonna go out and say that, you know, whoa, what a shot. Doesn't look like he was aiming anywhere in that direction. That being said, you guys know how I feel about Simple this year anyway. Insane stuff. But for Vitality, I mean, I mean, everyone can have an excuse and everyone's got stuff going on in their lives. So I don't want to try to compare who's got more stuff and why. But if we strip all that away, then you know, I think Vitality could have expected to do more post Spinks especially, and the fact that roster move falls through is the biggest and most questionable and weirdest and weird and strange and ugly thing, right? Because Spinks clearly plays incredibly well under Snappy. He comes up, and now I attribute a lot of success to Snappy, and then not only that, but oh, that's a nice move by Zaiwu after dodging the flashes. Beautiful stuff. Wow, even dodges the second one off of timing, doesn't he? That's pretty nasty. Just knows it's coming and just allows him to turn back. That was sharp. And then you know, when we talk about Spinks's lurking, it only got worse. Like, he was a player who was super patient, and then his stats were going up, and honestly, his clutches and stuff, he was a good closer and everything. But these last 5 events, it was like he hasn't evolved, and his stats have gotten worse. So like, what's going on? And I don't even blame Spinks for that. He's a new guy, you know? Why is it that he's playing with Dupree, Magisk, and Apex as the IGL, and he's not able to consistently get better? When we talk about people coming into teams and getting involved, look at Bit in 2021, look at Spinks under Ents, look at Monacy this year with the combination of being helped out by Nico, Alexi B, and then Hooksy. Look at, I don't know, look at Jabby, who got better as the year progressed, you know? And it just said that it was a bit of a honeymoon period, he felt like, with Spinks. But I don't get why the honeymoon ends. Or how it's a honeymoon period that ends, but he's suddenly not even in the green in events that he would have been in the green for easily with Ents versus the same teams, doing deep runs at the same level. What's going on? He's a lurker. He gets the space he wants, you know? It's not even... It barely makes sense. And what I saw when I included Bit in my top 20 and not Spinks was that Bit was playing his role as a lurker better than Spinks was. When we look at T-side Mirage, Spinks is the guy who's going slow, but then too slow sometimes. Okay, look who's fast though. So I was fast. And it was Bit who was timing his lurks way better. And it's just like, why isn't... Oh, they missed the window smoke. Feels like they know. They want to have the boost, I think, in the boost to fight connectors, so... Sometimes you miss the window smoke on purpose. I don't know if they did it there on purpose, but... Maybe they wanted something to they wanted a lot of challengers out of CT side, so they missed the window smoke. Oh, yeah, he didn't throw the molly. Oh, but he gets it. Oh, I think that lands on Cat. That's okay. They get the flash assist here, and you Kinder dead top mid. Liquid at this point are not insanely good on their T sides. They get so much better after this event, especially on Mirage. So I was very good at playing around this middle of the site smoke. He knows one's Palace. That guy doesn't swing. Let's see how he reads it. One inside of mid. I don't think this is gonna be it's not possible, surely. The bomb's... Where's the bomb? Oh my god, can he win? Wow, NT. That was a good try. I didn't think that was possible for him to do that. I was like, they didn't see a bomb, but... Oh, Zaiwu, bad movement. Can't do it. Maybe you should bind to mouse wheel instead of space bar. Alright, that's Zaiwu. 5 million kills in the 1/2 owned. Great year. Bad team. Love him. Want him to get more credit. Want to reinforce this incredible story that he's had as an individual and talk about all the great things with Zaiwu. So that's Zaiwu. Number 2 of 2022 for me on my list. Who do you have as number 1? That's the big question. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate all your support, your comments, your likes, everything. Love ending the year with a bang. Looking forward already to doing next year. Because CS isn't going anywhere and neither am I. So thanks for watching. And I hope to see you tomorrow for the last video of the year.